If your job disappeared tomorrow, how long would you feel secure? Not confident, not optimistic, but secure. Because most high performing women tie security to performance. If I do well, I'll be fine. If I stay valuable, I'll be safe. But what happens when what happens happens? A layoff, a health crisis, a corporate restructure, or just a season where life gets expensive. Today's conversation is not about panic, it's about design because security is not something you hope for, it's something you build. Let's dive in. Welcome to Career Growth for Working Women. This show is for women who are done waiting to be noticed and ready to be compensated for the value they already bring. I'm Shannon, a promotion and compensation coach, and I help women position themselves for real advancement, not by working harder, but by showing their value more strategically using what I call the 5% method. If you're ready for clarity, confidence, and career growth that actually pays off, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello, welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about something that most women do not think about until they're forced to. What happens when what happens happens? What if it's a layoff? What if it's a health crisis? What if it's something as ordinary as an expensive holiday season? Life has a way of surprising us and often not gently. My guest today is Bart Merrell, an entrepreneur and author who has spent his life building income from opportunity rather than waiting for security to be handed to him. Bart has been creating businesses since he was a kid. He helped take the first commercial bungee jump to Japan. He built ventures from unusual ideas. And after facing his own life altering accident that led to amputation, he became even more focused on one central belief: financial security is not something you hope for, it's something you design. Bart believes ordinary people can create extraordinary stability when they learn to recognize and act on the value they already hold. Today, we're going to explore what it looks like to build security that does not depend entirely on one job, one paycheck, or one title. Bart, welcome to the show. I'm so excited for this conversation.
Thanks for having me.
So, you had never had what most people would consider a traditional job. What was the mindset that was shaped by that early on for you?
So it happened on accident. My life is full of accidents. You mentioned one earlier,
Yeah.
but my initial plan in life was to get in the FBI and chase serial killers. That was my dream job.
Wow.
And I went to school in accounting because that was the easiest way into the FBI. And
Okay.
once you get in the FBI, you can apply for the different jobs that are available. And my goal was to go in through the accounting door and then get over to the crazy door. And what happened was, as I started studying accounting, I figured out very quickly that I did not like it and I wasn't good at it. And I took a quarter off to go help my dad on the pig farm. While I was down there, I had RK surgery done on my eyes, and it would just come out. It was really new. This is what was before LASIK. It was
Mhm.
to correct your vision. I got back up to school, finishing up my degree, started applying to the FBI, and I found out that my surgery, my corrective vision surgery, automatically disqualified me from the FBI.
Oh, wow.
I was devastated. I didn't know what I was going to do.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of fell back on what I had been not necessarily taught, but what my dad was a great example because he was a farmer, a pig farmer, but he had his hands in many different things in the agricultural industry.
Right.
And so life just kind of came together. You can say it was luck if you want, but what is luck? It's when preparedness and opportunity meet and you take action.
Yeah.
And so a buddy of mine who worked for a bungee jump company asked me, hey, would you like to go back to Japan? Because they had just sold a bungee jump tower in Japan. They needed someone to help with the building of it and someone to help train the staff, was the go-between between the Japanese company and the American company. And so I thought about it for a second and said, seriously, yes, I'll go. And I
That's
went back
awesome.
to Japan. The Japanese company liked me, so they continued to work with me. I made new connections, and so it just kind of things fell into place. I Anything that crosses my path, good, bad, or ugly, I always ask the question, can I monetize it?
Oh,
I don't monetize everything, but I
right.
always ask the question.
Wow.
Let's kind of go into my crazy mind a little bit.
No, I like
I
it.
found out October of 2023 that I was going to have my leg amputated.
Mm,
After the shock and awe was over, I kind of said, okay, this is going to happen. I don't want it to happen, but there's nothing I can do about it.
right.
So how can I monetize it? 6 months post-op, I contracted with my prosthetist to help people go through what it is I had to go through.
Oh, wow.
Because when you find out you're going to have your leg chopped off, a lot of questions go into your head.
Right.
Number one being, how bad is this going to hurt?
Hmm.
But I went down the YouTube rabbit hole and you have so much information. You don't know if it's right, wrong, or indifferent.
Right.
And so I wanted to help people go through this process and make it easier for them.
That's awesome.
And if I hadn't thought about it before, when the opportunity came up, I wouldn't have taken the opportunity.
Right.
So, and it kind of went like this. I'm sitting in an appointment with my prosthetist, and I said, Scott, I interviewed 3 other prosthetists before I chose you. One of them had a guy that I could talk to ask the questions, how bad does it hurt, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Scott, you don't have a guy. I'm your guy.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started. And I said, Scott, I don't want a real job. I don't want to come into the office every day. You give me the numbers. I make the phone calls. I'm on retainer. And it's been very good for almost a year and a half now.
Wow.
And it's because I thought about it before I was ready when the opportunity came up.
And I
When I
think
thought
that's a
about it before,
mindset shift that you've learned to make, right?
and when I thought about it before, I didn't know how it was going to manifest itself. I
Right.
just said, okay, this is going to happen to me. Pay attention to ways to monetize it, whether it's telling my story, whatever it is. And so, and I'm not telling your listeners, viewers, to go chop off body parts to start a side hustle. Not a good idea.
No.
I'm just saying that when things happened, like I said, good, bad, or ugly, always ask that question: Can I monetize it?
Yeah. I like that because I feel like most people, and especially women, they just have the one primary source of income. It's their career that they have. So, what are they risking by not looking at all of these different opportunities and trying to see yes, no, whatever I might be able to and look into these opportunities that they could potentially monetize?
So I don't share this story very often, but I think it pertains here because we're speaking to women who may have kids.
Mhm.
I volunteered at a drug rehab center, teaching them how to speak and how to tell their stories without saying the F word all the time, and how to get their message across. And Eddie, he was in there, and he, from age 15 till now, which or to that time, he was 29 at the time. He had spent all but 6 months in prison.
Wow.
Not because his family was bad. He had a great mom and dad, but they were busy doing 1, 2, and 3 jobs just to make sure he had a home to come home to. But he was walking to school in rain, snow, and he always looked at the other kids getting picked up by mom and dad in the bad weather and wishing someone was there for him. At
Yeah.
age 11, the gang became the people that was there for him. And
Wow.
that's how it all started because his parents weren't bad parents. They just weren't there.
They weren't present. Yeah.
And so if you can design a side hustle where you can be with your kids, that would be the ultimate for some of these working people who have kids that need more parenting.
Right.
And if you like your job, I'm not saying quit your job. I'm just saying don't go get a second job, get a side hustle. Start
Right.
a side hustle where you can be there with your kids. Buddy of mine, his wife used to teach piano lessons when her kids were small, and so she would teach piano lessons while they were napping.
Oh, yeah.
As they got older, she found herself spending more time with other people's kids than her kids, so she switched her side hustle to calligraphy. to
Oh,
where she
wow.
could do it at the table while she's asking her kids about how their day at school was.
Or they're doing their homework. She can be doing her homework. It looks kind of the same,
Exactly.
you know?
And her side hustle, I haven't checked in a long time, but when I talked to her, when I interviewed her for my book, it was 20, $30,000 a year just on the side.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
if you go get a part-time job, you're not making that much.
No, no. And that comes back to like monetizing things that you already know or that you enjoy doing. Because I feel like if that's the case, then we all can look at our skill set and there's probably something that we can do that we enjoy doing. And I mean, I'm a mom, I know that, like that I could be doing with my kids or any of these listeners that will also bring in, like you said, $30,000. That would be huge.
Yeah, a great side income. So
Yes.
they're not at a second job or a third job trying to make ends meet or trying to have financial security. For
And
me, side hustling is about having that financial security
right.
so that you have the resources for whatever happens when life happens.
Yes, because life
Because
does happen.
when I found out my leg was going to get cut, I was just like, how long am I going to be off work? You know, and I
Right.
don't have work, but one of my side hustles is I'm a dog trainer.
Oh,
It's
wow.
hard to train dogs when you have one leg and your other leg is in pain.
Yeah.
And so, how long am I going to be off work? I didn't know. But the fact that I had other things coming in, other
Right.
streams of income coming in, it made that pressure a whole lot less.
Right. And I think that, we talk a lot about not having burnout. Like you can do all of this without burnout. So what would you suggest for these women listening so that because they may sit here and be feeling like, oh, taking on another thing, that sounds great. I would love the extra income, but I also don't know that I have the time or and I don't want to overextend myself. What would you suggest for them?
So, you said it earlier. If it's something you're already doing, you know, I'm already learning how to take care of my leg. I had to learn that. And so, why not share that?
Right.
So it doesn't take me much time to talk to people and help people through it. I mean, he sends me numbers to call. I call them. I may go visit them in the hospital, in the doctor's office, and talk them through things, but it doesn't take a whole lot of time, and I enjoy it.
Right.
If like in my friend's wife's case, transitioning from teaching piano lessons to doing something where she can be around her kids, both of those things she already enjoyed doing, whether it
Yeah.
was piano or whether it was calligraphy, she liked them and she was doing them anyway. And so that's one thing, is finding the side hustle that is best for you. I have a saying that is, life is too short to be building someone else's side hustle. And
I
so
like it.
find one that is unique to you that you enjoy.
Yeah.
When I work with someone, I have no agenda. We go through their life experiences and try and find something that they can turn into a stream of income that they at least like to do.
Right.
Meaning, I didn't want to get my leg cut off, but I enjoy talking to people and I
Yeah.
enjoy helping people. So
Right.
it was a perfect side
Fit.
hustle for me,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
doesn't take me much time.
Yeah. Definitely. I love that. And what role, I mean, I know mindset has to play a huge role in all of this. What do you think is the biggest mindset shift that people have to make?
Taking that first step is hard. Taking that risk. Um, I I told you I took the first commercial bungee jump to Japan, or you mentioned it in the
Mhm.
intro. And one of my claims to fame is I jumped off this bungee tower just hanging on with my hands. The cord was not attached. And there is a method to my madness or my brilliance, whatever you want to call it, but in theory, so my bungee tower that I was working on had a stunt person airbag at the bottom.
Okay.
And in theory, someone could jump from the top of the tower, 8 stories up, without a bungee cord, hit the airbag, and be okay. And on our busiest day in Japan, we pushed, I mean, assisted. 783 people off the top of this tower.
Oh, wow.
But sometimes during the week, I was bored alone up at the top of the tower with just me and my brilliant mind. And my brilliant mind asked me one day, "Do you think you could jump off without a cord?" And I walked to the edge and I looked down and I'm like, I ain't that crazy. But my brilliant mind continued, okay, let's jump with a cord, wait for the bouncing to stop, and then unhook yourself, and you'll be falling from 6 stories instead of 8. And in my head, that was doable. And so I jumped, the bouncing stopped, and I couldn't unhook. And so I back up to the top of the tower and I'm thinking, and my brilliant mind says, okay, if you take to connect the cord to the person, we have this little nylon strap about a foot long, an inch wide, has a carabiner on it. I could wrap that and hook it on itself, make a loop, put 2 of those at the bottom of the bungee cord, and I have handles. I could jump just hanging on, and then when the bouncing stops, all I got to do is let go.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant. I'm a genius. And so I got the handles in my hand. I got to the edge and I jumped. And obviously I'm okay. That's not how I lost my leg. But I jumped and waited for the bouncing to stop and then I let go. Now, you brilliant or crazy, whatever you think it is. But if you're going to be in business, you got to be willing to take that first jump, to take that first step. And
Right.
we're not talking stupid risk, crazy risk. Now, you may think that was stupid, but I had jumped 1,000 times on this tower.
Right.
I knew the pressure. I was 99% sure that I could hang on.
Right.
I don't know if that's good enough for most people, but it was
Yeah.
good enough for me.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to take that risk if you're going to be in business and be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take risks, nothing's going to happen.
Right.
You don't take action, nothing. And so you have to be willing to take that first step. And that's a mindset that people have to get past. And a lot of things they're worried about is, oh, what if I fail?
Yeah.
Failing's okay. You're going to learn something from it. Gary Vaynerchuk, he says, I would rather fail 3 times out of 10 than not fail at all, because there's a lot of valuable lessons in those 3 times that I failed
Yeah.
that I need for later on. And so you
Yeah.
can't be afraid to fail, can't be afraid to think about what other people think about you.
Right.
And that's the hard thing, is getting that first step and then overcoming the fear of failure and the fear of what everybody thinks.
Yes, true. I heard that Sarah Blakely's dad asked her every night at dinner, what did you fail at today? And the first time she came home, she's like, I didn't fail at anything. I did this, this, and this. And he's like, okay, there you go. You have to fail at something every day to learn. And so then she realized that she learned in her failure, and that literally helped with Spanx and all of that. And I just think that that's a fascinating story, as she reframed failure as a positive thing to that learning over such a negative thing. So I agree. Like, it's not, you learn so much in that failure if you
Yeah.
end up failing. So this has been wonderful. Where can the listeners connect with you?
So I'm most active on Facebook. I do have a YouTube channel called The Side Hustle Samurai, or Bart Merrell, The Side Hustle Samurai. And then I have a free gift that I'm offering this year, which is, it is an assessment. It is the 1K blind spot assessment. What is keeping you from making your first $1,000 on a side hustle? It'll take you about 10 to 15 minutes and it'll be enlightening. It's really good at it. It's going to tell you the things that you're good at that you may already know, but it's going to identify a couple of blind spots that you might need to pay attention to. And you can get that at youridealsidehustle.com.
Great. I will link that in the show notes. As we wrap up today, I love to leave my listeners with a small action step or a mindset shift that they can implement today. So what would you challenge them to do?
So don't leave anything on the table. Ask, always ask, what do you like to do? What do you need to do? What are you already doing? Can you monetize any of those things? Don't, I would say go make a list right now. 3 lists. What do you like to do? What do you need to do? What are you already doing? Don't think about whether you can monetize it or not. Just make the list and then go analyze each one. And you're going to have to decide, okay, what's it going to take to turn this into a stream of income? And, you're going to have to give up these resources, time, effort, money to
Right.
get this. Is it worth it?
Yeah.
And so that's not very a simple thing, but the simple thing is make your list. What do
Make
you
your
like
list.
to do? What do you need to do? What are you already doing? Evaluate those things. Can you turn one to maybe three of them into a stream of income?
Yeah. I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Bart.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here, and I enjoyed the conversation.
Before you go, I want you to know this. You don't have to figure out your next move alone. If you're feeling stuck, under-recognized, or unsure what's realistically possible in your current role, I offer promotion strategy calls where we walk through your goals, your role, and what makes the most sense for you next. No pressure, just clarity. You can book that call through the link in the description. And if this episode resonated, would you share it with another woman who might need it right now? Leaving a review also helps this show reach more women who are ready for real career growth. I'll see you next time.